Hi, we're at the start of the South Downs Way here, going up towards Beachy Head. We're going to walk up that hill. You might not get too much footage of us going up the hill because it's quite steep, so there's quite a bit of panting and puffing going on. These are the South Downs here. Around the South Downs there are some beautiful wild flowers. In the past few years they've managed them so that the wild flowers are left to flower, and they've managed them so that they've put cattle on the downs, which is the natural form of management, and then the cattle eat the plants and they grow naturally and seed naturally. So that's a normal form of downs management, and consequently the plants in the last couple of years have been really, really beautiful. Quite a good example of the variety of uses that plants can be put to. This is called Dyer's Weld, and it's used, or was used in the past, to extract a yellow dye from it. We're about halfway up the hill, and it's given me a good excuse to collapse on in a heap here. Red clover. This very pretty little yellow plant is lady's bedstraw, not used medicinally, but I understand from reading the books that it was collected in ancient days, and people did make mattresses out of it. Here is a bird's foot trefoil. If you look a little bit further up there, or here, this is knapweed. That one's not flowering, but you can see it's flowering a little bit further up there. This little white plant here is pignut, and the root of it it's got a slightly bulbous root on it, and that was used as a food substance in ancient times. Red clover, which if you just scan around is growing quite profusely all around, is one of the most fantastic plants for clearing out the lymphatic system, and I put it in all my eczema clearing out remedies. Very, very safe plant, and I use it for all kinds of conditions where the body needs to clean itself out. In more recent times, red clover has been used as a menopause herb because they have found that it is very high in estrogen, but red clover has never had a history or tradition of being used as menopause. It's always had a tradition for being used as a lymphatic and skin cleansing herb. So it just shows that maybe modern science, although they can analyse what's in the plants, I personally don't think they always get it right. This patch of Yarrow here. The folk name, country name for Yarrow is mealfoil, and if you come in a little bit closer you'll see each leaf looks like it's got loads and loads of tiny little leaflets on it. Yarrow is one of the wonder herbs. It does absolutely everything. Good digestive system herb, good circulation herb. It makes you sweat if you've got a fever. It's antiviral, antibacterial, and it's another herb like the chamomile that I told you about, that at college, if we couldn't think of anything to put in our exams, we would say put Yarrow because you'll get it right anyway, because Yarrow does everything. It's a fantastic herb. We're right at the top of the downland now, approaching Beachy Head. a bit windy, so you might not hear me as well. I'm going to do a 360-degree scan for you so that you can see how very beautiful it is. The building you can see there in the distance is called Beltoot Lighthouse. It's now run as a guest house, but was used for filming Lives and Loves of a She-Devil, and I understand that they had to move the whole lot back from the cliff. It is very, very close to the cliff now, so I don't know what they'll do with it in future years. That's our very beautiful downland there. And it was the Romans used this land as farmland, but we do also have very ancient, I think they're Bronze Age barrows all over the land. Look at this gorgeous honeysuckle. It's quite rare now to see honeysuckle growing in hedgerows. Its folk name is woodbine, and a bit further along I'm going to recite to you a little bit of a speech said by Oberon from A Midsummer's Night Dream by Shakespeare, and the woodbine in that is honeysuckle. It smells gorgeous, and when we were little we used to pick the flowers and suck the sweet bit out to the end. It's yummy, it's very sweet. Couldn't come all the way up here without stopping to have a look at Beachy Head Lighthouse, which is just down there. It's not a working lighthouse anymore. The working lighthouse is about a couple of miles, mile and a half out at sea, and it's called the Sovereign Lighthouse. But as it happens, we're sitting on top of Burdock here, which has got brilliant medicinal properties and is a very, very good digestive system and liver cleanser. So wherever you are, there are medicinal herbs. This is probably the worst bit of the walk because it's downhill and you have to use your thighs to stop yourself running down and zooming into the sea. Whilst we were walking down this path, saw this patch of Melaleuca here. Again, it's a pea family plant and used in the past to thin blood down. Beautiful plant. You can see again we are surrounded by a herbal pharmacy because there are so many different plants that have so many different medicinal actions. Here's a patch of marjoram here, and marjoram is used as a cooking herb, but has very, very good digestive system properties. It helps you digest your food, and that is why all those cooking herbs are used, because most of them will help you to break protein down in the digestive system. Wild marjoram it doesn't smell as strong as the cultivated stuff. It's still got a very nice smell, and as I'm lying on it I'm crushing it a little bit and a lovely smell's wafting up, and the flower is very beautiful. We're just a few yards on from the marjoram, and you will have to come in very close to see this. There's the wild thyme, very tiny with a very small oblong leaf on it. There's actually quite a lot of it in this area, and I have got to recite to you the beginning of a speech said by Oberon in A Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare, which is, "I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where oxlips and nodding violet grows, all over canopied with luscious woodbine, with musk roses and with eglantine. There sleeps Titania some time of the night, lulled by these flowers with dances and delight. I love that little bit of speech from Midsummer Night's Dream. Just a few yards on again from the wild thyme, this is ibright. I think it's probably one of my favourite little flowers to look at. If you come right in close, you can see why it's called ibright, apart from its medicinal properties. The inside looks like a little eye. It's the same family as the pansy. Ibright has got very good astringent properties and also antibacterial properties, and it can be made up into an eye wash to cleanse the eyes, or for tired eyes, or for infected eyes. It also, I use it a lot to tone up mucous membranes in the body, so I use it very commonly in my hay fever mixes to tone up the sinus areas, but I use that obviously as an internal mix. It is the most gorgeous little plant. We're right at the end of the walk now, and I've come across some agrimony. I actually had seen quite a bit of agrimony on the downs as we were walking along, but not a lot of it is still flowering. Fortunately, this one is still flowering. It's got a very pretty little yellow flower. Gypsies used to pick agrimony leaf and store it and dry it and use it throughout the year as an ordinary tea, because it's very, very high in tannins, just like the tea that you will drink is. Because it's high in tannins, it's a herb that will tone up mucous membranes in the body, and I very commonly put it into mixtures for the digestive system to tone up the gut lining, because sometimes the gut lining becomes a bit, how shall I explain it, leaky is a good word, and agrimony will tone that lining up so it will work properly again. We've had a lovely walk, a beautiful day, gorgeous weather. If you'd like to know more about any of the plants that we've looked at today, or any of the conditions that we've talked about, come and visit my website on www.herbalhealthinformation.com. See you soon.